Welcome to Aspect Slant of a Changing Man. I was live, but I guess something happened to where it messed up. But this is me giving you another episode. Definitely hit me up, mplsmikid@gmail.com. You can go on Gold Washington as the Facebook. Twitter is Gold. I think is Gold. I forgot, I gotta look it up. But anyways, you can go on a new website, goldcwinc.com. That is the new website where you'll get more information upon who I am as a person, what's going on in my life, and how more opinions upon things that I could have said on here, and also things that I just think up and put on there. So I was talking about what is real before something happened to the laptop. What is real? It is exactly what you want it to be. But it has to be exactly what you're putting it off to be. If you're doing the opposite, it really doesn't help as far as the mindset of what people will actually want to think of when it comes to them actually wanting to be real. There's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of stuff that we say that is real, but really isn't, because it goes the opposite of what we actually put off on, or we actually say that we believe in, or we do, but we don't portray. So when you think about it, like for me, when it comes to like a relationship, one thing that is real to me is the image of both of us. The reason that the image of both of us is real is because we represent each other. Nobody will represent you better than the mate that you decide to be with. So because of the fact that you are the image of them, whatever is going on reflects in the type of situation that people portray outside. If things are not going well, things are not going to happen. If things are just like a little rocky things might happen. But if you're doing the opposite, you're going to get the opposite of what's going on. No relationship is perfect, but relationships can be real. If I can cheat on my mate and make her look stupid in any type of way, if I can, degrade her or talk bad to her, or make her feel as if she's nothing, that's basically the image of what I'm seeing for myself, because that's my mate. That's the person that watches my back the most. That's the person that when I wake up is there to let me know if any dangers are there, and when I go to sleep, they let me know if any dangers are around. They might wake up before me when something is not right. They may let me know when something is not right when I'm not there. And most of the time, they do let you know that danger is coming from them when they're speaking to you about what's going on in life. So it's the imagery of you can do better with your mate that is more of a representation of what is real. When you're out there in the streets and you're doing your thing, I mean, people need money. People need money to survive in the systematic type of situation that we've created ourselves to be in. When you're a farmer, you have to grow your food. You have to go to work. You have to grow your food. You have to take care of the animals. You have to tend to everything that's around, and, make sure your family is straight. But really, you can live off of your land if you can base it right. There are other things that you probably can't get to that you have to either trade off of or, make money to, get to. But really, you're making your supply. We live in a world where the system is designed to have it to where we are spoiled. So we can't represent that type of ordeal that we have right now, putting it in another perspective that has to do with being on your own or doing things on your own. So when you're out there in the streets, there's a lot of things that people feel like they have to do to survive in this systematic place, that a system that we design ourselves to be in. So most of the stuff will be that they have a good heart, but they have to do the wrong things because either pride or opportunity isn't presented to them to be that type of person. So they will go off and do, they'll go off and say they care about somebody else, or they care about the people in their neighborhood, yet they sell drugs, or they give negative music that portrays a type of environment that they themselves don't want to be in. And you'll know that they don't want to be in that environment because when they start to make money, when it comes to that, that's the environment that they leave. Even though it's the one that made them the most money, it's the one that they take the image and put it off to everybody to make them excited about where they're from and the things that they do. They still don't want to be in that neighborhood. And because of that, they will pull, I would like to say, an unreal act of portraying and saying they enjoy this lifestyle that they really themselves do not enjoy. They will tell people to do things that they themselves are no longer doing because of the fact that they don't want to be in that position anymore. The dangers of being in, if you're looking at a drug dealer, the dangers of being in a drug game, selling drugs, having it to where you're always watching your back for not only the police, but people that want to rob you for that stuff, for the people that just want you for money, that don't bring any type of gain in that world. They don't want to be there. And because they don't want to be there, any opportunity to get out, most people will take so that they're able to not live that lifestyle. There are people that stay in. There are definitely people that stay in way longer than what they're supposed to. But there are people that want out so bad that they will do something that they know is not. If you live by that code, you have to live by that code forever. I do not live by that code. Never did. I wanted to because people made with the music that's out, it made it sound so exciting. But because of the fact that I knew me, that's not something that I wanted to do. I didn't like jail. I spent time in jail. I did not want to go to jail for a longer time, especially if it had to do with something like drugs. And I was a bad drug dealer. I didn't deal drugs. I sold weed a couple of times, and I was bad at that. That was something that I did not want to do. I was doing it for the wrong reasons, and because I was doing it for the wrong reasons, there wasn't any gain in me doing that. So portraying something real was something that I decided that I was going to do. Like I said before, in a relationship, if you're in a relationship and you make your late mate look stupid, it's not something that you really want to do, because you have to look at yourself and say that this is what I'm portraying. That's the person that you're supposed to not only be protecting, but providing for. You're supposed to be producing stuff so that they can learn not to be in that type of situation that you don't want to be in. Because they may not be from the field that you're in. They may not be from the world that you're in. They might not have grew up on the same streets that you grew up in. A lot of us have, back in the day, we used to get married with a person that spent a lot of time around our areas, spent a lot of time in our environment. So they would closely know of the situation that we've been through. But these days we venture off into a different zone, and we get with people that are not familiar with the type of situation that we've been in. So you have to relearn them of not only the situation you've been in, but why you do things the way that you do them, so that they're able to know how to react to not only you, but to the things that come your way. Because one thing is that once you have problems and you bring somebody else into your world, they are now a presentation, or not presentation, they are now a opportunity for those problems to spread out too. And that's a thing that a lot of us don't understand when we put somebody into our world or bring somebody into our lives, is that our problems now become theirs. What we're doing is being pushed off to everybody that's around. Everybody is being affected by what it is that is going on in this situation. So how do you stay real when that situation is arising? You let people know. Like, hey, this is what's going down. Like, this is what's, no matter what, this is what I'm going to be. And you got to be that. You got to know how you're pushing situations off to people because of the fact that people aren't prepared. Some people don't know. This is not a world that some people are used to. This is not a world that people are prepared for. And when you push your problems or your misunderstandings or your insecurities or your ignorance, and I mean that in a way of not knowing, when you push that onto them, it's kind of hard for them to respond to something that they don't understand. But we'll want a person to know how to respond to that situation. We'll want people to automatically be able to mind read and to figure out the situation, instead of giving them the understanding, giving them the patience and the time to understand what the problem is, and also give your attention to their problems and their understanding so that you guys can match up. Because we don't grow together anymore. Most of us are already grown in the mind. And one thing about a flower is once it stops growing, it starts dying. So when we're pushing that off on another person, it's not actually a becoming of ourselves if we're not giving them the type of effort that they need. Which, in that, is a representation of yourself. It's a representation of who you are as a person, how much patience you have, how much love you're willing to give to get, how much peace you're willing to present to someone so that they're able to have it. And to have so much peace that if anything does happen, you know that now you're at war. With being in a very competitive world, you got to learn to understand yourself, because if you don't, like I said before, you may present problems to somebody else that you do not understand. And a lot of us are competitive and we don't even know it. Or we're given a competitive spirit, and once people give us information on how to do things within our household, it becomes a war zone. And how does that go with being real? Because once you understand how you work, you can actually be real to that other person. See, it's not all about temptations. It's not all about being wrong. Sometimes it's all about understanding yourself. So when you go into a relationship and you're competitive, sometimes you don't know how to back off that competitive nature to get the peace of mind from the person that you're with, as far as being real. See, if you're real with yourself, you'll know where you step to and where you don't step to. People used to tell us all the time, a happy wife is a happy life. But they would never give us the understanding of what that means. It means for me, it means if you're real with yourself, you could be real with them to make them happy. Not always are you going to be right in an argument. All the time you're going to feel right in an argument. But not always are you going to be right in an argument. So, when it comes to arguing, you got to understand sometimes logic will go against emotions. And emotions wants to win. But logic doesn't have to win at that time. And logic understands that. See, the same time that emotions is roaring and is going crazy, logic is staying calm. Logic is giving an understanding that maybe they need to win right now to understand how they lost later on. Because not everybody wants to lose an argument. But logic is saying, hey, maybe I need to take losses to actually win. Because we'll be like, hey, yeah, but and at the same time, that person may not be emotionally comfortable to actually get the understanding logically. So they have to calm into where they are in their logic mind to understand if they are wrong or not. And you have to be calm to understand if you're wrong. Smart decisions are made logically, not emotionally. Now, effort after those smart decisions are made best when the emotion is added to it after everyone knows that it was the right decision. And I can give you an example for a second. Michael Jordan knows how good he is in basketball. He knows. The one thing a lot of people knew is to not talk bad to Michael Jordan, because you may get more than the awesome Michael Jordan than you're already getting. If you're already getting a awesome, extremely ruthless sniper, scorer, the guy that's going to go at your neck, you don't want to give him more of an effort to basically overkill. But a lot of people would do that. Now, putting that in a zone, putting that in a mode, Michael knew that sometimes people wouldn't talk to him. So logically, he had to be exactly what he wanted to be, but sometimes he would wait, or he would try to find something to make him emotionally enough to put more effort into the already smart decisions that he's going to make with the basketball to let you know that this guy is serious. When I'm going up for a dunk, I could just go up for a dunk, but if there's somebody right there, I'm going to go up the same way that I know that I'm going to make the dunk. And when they put some effort into it, I'm going to put more emotion into it so I can get the results that I want. But I already logically thought about how I was going to do this situation. I just added emotion into it to make sure that it was an overkill when it came to executing the results that I wanted. There's some people that will put emotions in front and then try to logically diagnose the situation, and it would mess them all the way up. If you're already knowing that you can do stuff logically, then you can add the emotion after that to make it better. And that's what a lot of people do. But that's diagnosing yourself, understanding yourself, being that type of person that knows first who you are as a person, what you can do, what's right, and what I may have to pass the ball to somebody I don't want to pass the ball to and tell them to get the ball right back. Or I may have to pass the ball to a person that I know at the right time can do the right things, even though I know this shot is the best shot. For me, I can go make this shot, but that person hasn't shot the ball in like 25 times. I need to keep them in rhythm for when I need them. So I have to put my logic in front of my emotion. And, okay, I'm going to make this pass, but it's going to be a tough pass. So now I have to put my emotion into making this pass because of the effort that I have to put into it. It's all in understanding. The better you understand things, the better you can do things. For me, it's like, if I only understood it back then. But I'm happy because, I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that get taught these things. They get taught them by sight, so their understanding of what's going on, and it becomes so instinct of them that they never got the chance to actually understand it. When they seen it, it just became a natural thing that they did. So pushing back and breaking it down to become that person is not something they can actually do. For me, I lived so long, it's kind of hard to put it in to life, but understand it. So now I have to exit out all the stuff that I thought before and try to put it in fast before I become an old dog that can't learn new tricks. Before I become so comfortable with the old life that even though I understand what is going on, I'm not doing it because of what I got comfortable with. It's crazy how you could think that way. But it's even better to understand it. It's even better to understand it. Everything has to do with the mind. To be real, everything has to do with the mind. When somebody says follow your heart, it has nothing to do with what your heart is saying. Because your heart doesn't say anything. It's just another part of your mind that's speaking to you. We will put it into the heart because that's what we feel like. When it pains us, that's what we feel like is giving us the pain, the heart. They like to call it the subconscious and unconscious mind. The conscious and subconscious mind. The two minds that think together, the one that you always think with, and the one that is in the back of the mind that acts upon instincts and emotions more than it does anything else. You know, when you start thinking and you start talking, that's usually the subconscious mind. But when you start acting upon things without thinking, that's usually the subconscious mind. Or when you're responding to a situation with emotions or fear or anxiety or happiness or courage, things like that, that's usually done with the subconscious mind. And you're thinking, when you're stepping back to think, you're blocking off the subconscious mind and trying to do logical thinking. It's a crazy world, but we got to do it, and we got to do it right. Because if we don't, we'll be mad at ourselves, and if we're not mad at ourselves, we'll try to be mad at somebody else for us not thinking in the right way. Well, has been me. I definitely enjoyed being live. Feels good. I definitely enjoyed being in the area. You guys coming through and listening in. I thank you guys for being here, listening in, and giving your opinion on things. You could definitely hit me up. Let me know what's good. You could definitely catch me. I'll probably be on here in a couple of days. I'll do my episode whenever I get the chance, whenever I get the thoughts, and whenever I feel like you guys want to hear it. So you can go ahead and hit me up. mplsmikid@gmail.com, goldcwinc.com. Gold Washington is the Facebook. I also have GOLD. It's actually supposed to be G.O.L.D.C.W.inc.com. That's a new business. That's a new mindset. That's a new business. That's a new direction we're going towards, and we're going to do this the right way. So I thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later.